PTSD, and you said that President Obama may be to blame for some of the PTSD that's out there. Well,
systems deep beneath our feet that could be to blame for the spreading footprint of the South Atlantic.
Who might be to blame for it? Perhaps this particular social group or that class. A problem can't just be no one's fault.
In particular, Swansea City itself, given, and granted the UK government will not be to blame for this, but in addition,
might be to blame for why developers are kind of feeling under the gun. Colin Newport
said, you should be afraid. And let me tell you who to blame for your economic instability and economic uncertainty. The wealth.
Some may be more to blame than others for the current climate, but all of us are responsible for reversing it.
Toes up. So we have to be careful who we blame for what. Notice now Deuteronomy.
Has to be approved by a brand. I'm responsible for that. Blame me. The brand gets a say now, but you know what? You can.
You know, it's got to be the blame for it needs to be spread around. Like it's been going on for.
And while some may be more to blame than others for the current climate,
sort of millennials, quote unquote, to be to blame for all this stuff. In fact, we find that young
Simply been scared that he'd be tried for murder and so wanted to shift the blame to someone else. Well, whatever the case, in the subsequent interrogation,
It might be tempting for us then to blame rising inequality instead.
You can't really blame anyone for wanting to be out here, though.
To be honest, it felt sort of like
who can blame a Christian leader for not wanting to be aligned with this? And
you know, you have to be honest with yourself. You can't sit and blame everybody else for, you know, why you had fast food 3 times.
Parties. Now you might well ask, is it right to blame the president, be it Bush or Obama, for these outcomes? And it's true, the president.
Always God's will to be healed, and you pray for healing, but you're not healed. Who bears the blame for that?
Shows how dangerous it can be when anxious and stressed people start looking for somebody to blame. An issue like climate change, which lacks.
we say nothing, but somehow expect to be understood anyway, and blame the person for not reading our minds. We don't get something off our chest.
My sister, she had chosen to be bitter for the rest of her life, but she chooses to be better. My sister today is an app.
Guess. On this note of training people to make bad passwords, the blame for this can be traced back to widely disseminated, which, to be fair, if that one's true, we'd not really blame her for it. Her true crime, of course, is that women may be more likely to blame themselves for traumatic experiences than men, and may have a past mental health problem.
LinkedIn page and then trying to blame the person. I just don't feel like it's right for us to be talking about that.